Greetings from Agime Art Center. We are here for Tirana European Youth Film Festival podcast powered by Almanart. We will hold several conversations with directors, actors, and producers of the film scene competition in this festival. In this episode, we will talk to Alexander and Johannes, which are of the actors of the film Another German Tank Story that comes from Germany. Thank you for being in here.
Thanks for the invitation.
Yes, thanks for having us.
I want your perspective about what do you think the director and screenwriter wanted to use irony to bring this kind of story for the public in this film? You can feel free to start.
Yeah, I'm not particularly sure if it's actually irony, but I always felt like it was more like curiosity, like curious or like just weird things happening with all the whole cinematic world, with the Hollywood crew coming into a little village that's kind of deserted. And I mean, Johannes worked as a crowd marshal for bigger productions in Babelsberg Film Studio in Berlin. And I think like he kind of came up with this idea because film industry is so weird. Like you have so many weird situations where, you know, and then like you have an extra who's holding like a big gun who's actually like a schoolboy in real life. So, and then he's trying to go to toilet with the gun. So I guess those kind of situations were like the biggest inspiration.
Yeah, so it's not like there's like some absurdity in the movie, and but it's not like a satire on the life in a village. It's not meant to be to make fun of like those people, because it really reflects on this really deserted village where the people do have hopes and dreams, but nothing happens there because the village is really small, everything is deserted, and in these like big hopes some absurd moments rise, and absurd like roles do their things. So this is where the absurdity lies, but I don't think it's not to be like mocking this village society. It's about like small people being confronted with big Hollywood, and how big Hollywood also disturbs like kind of the processes that are about to happen in this village. And then there's also like a magical component to it, like stuff happens that is just not to be explained.
For your personal perspective, it was nice to hear this kind of to see this kind of perspective about the movie and things. But about your roles, how did you get the offer to and the invitation for being part of the film?
Yeah, so I play Toby. I play the son of the mayor of this town, and the mayor is like really motivated to make everything happen, to make a good work together with the American film crew. And yeah, I'm her son. I'm I don't know, 19, 20 years old. Don't know what to do with my life, and so my mom gets me a job as a driver on the film set, but. I don't know how to drive actually. That's the big the conflict my role has. I got there because I was casted by Johannes. I got invited for the casting, and it really clicked. Like on the first casting, we trusted each other, and we saw that we have like similar ideas. So I was on board really early actually. I think like 1 year before the shooting actually started, and I met Alexander during his casting.
Also. Which was then later on he found a really great German casting director. His name is Laura Buschhagen, and then she invited me. It's like very traditional casting director agency casting. And then we had like a few months of a period where the script was still in progress. So Johannes, once like he decided that we were cast or that I was cast, I felt like it was a great collaboration because he always came with scenes and he wanted to try them out in kind of rehearsals. And yeah, it was nice because he always said like do you have any idea or whatever, and it was kind of actually a collaboration, although obviously he did all the writing, but
yeah, and also because like we are playing the two only young people in the village. We are kind of like best friends, and we could like develop stuff together in the rehearsals, develop our relationship. So we had a really nice relationship coming up to the shooting, to develop stuff, to just get to know each other before we play the bestest of friends in Wiesenwalde.
Based on your perspective, and what was the most challenging professionally and in the scenes during the filming process for you and for the cast and all the production?
To be more personal.
Yeah.
I think for me, like for the role, it was because it's a bit of like hitting the right tone in the whole movie, so that you don't trade your character, don't trade your role just for a stupid joke, but that so that there's a seriousness inside the roles. So so then in the end, it's not mocking the whole village society, but taking everything really seriously, even the absurd moments. Like, for example, my role has like a small rabbit as a pet, and that alone seems really absurd, but like to take this really seriously, to really put your whole heart into this one, Falco is the name of the pet, into Falco, to love Falco and care for him and do everything for him, but don't do it in like a unserious way, in a like funny or stupid way. That was really also, for the working on the role, it's really heartwarming, and for my role, all the stuff that happens that is really funny in the movie is really sad for my role. It's like like a clown works, like a clown in general works by everybody looks at him and finds it funny, but for the clown itself, everything that happens to him, it's the most tragic things that are happening. So to keep the balance between this and don't start to trade your role, that was quite challenging, or it's challenging.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's probably this was the most challenging, to find the edge where it's like you're true to the thing, but you're also like going, I don't know, for my character who's like going between the worlds. I'm like the only person in the village who actually goes on set, on the Hollywood set. And for him, it's kind of this revelation of something good, something positive, because otherwise his life seems to be, well, full of despair in a way. And I felt like this edge to come back to the village with the positivity that he gained. It was, I don't know, it doesn't sound so challenging, but for me it was challenging to not, as he said, trade him off as like this then super winner coming back and then going back. Like, I don't know, I felt like it was somewhere between playing an idiot in the most positive way, but then also like a smart fox. And like to stick to, like, not to go very deep in one side and then the other, losing my thread. I'm gonna stop talking.
That's for the roles. I think for the production in general, it was really challenging because the film was shot in very small villages around Berlin and Brandenburg and in Saxony-Anhalt also, and it's just a bit the cargo was a bit of a problem because we have a big tank, for example. The tank destroyed a street, I think, because it was just too heavy to handle. The street was just too old to handle the weight of the tank. But besides that, it wasn't like as complicated as expected, because the people we met there in the small villages of about 200, 300 inhabitants, most of them were like really supportive, really nice. I remember one story where the streetlights had to come off, and they just called the mayor, and then they shut down the streetlight for one night because the night had to be dark, and then they forgot to turn it back on. So for 5 days it was just dark in the village, on the streets. But they totally made it possible, and they were really supportive and were really happy to see their village represented in the movie.
It's so nice to hear all the non-scene, behind the scenes, your view and what you experienced. And as the last question, about the Albanian audience, how you expect to react to this movie. And we talked about you showing and this movie in different countries like China, like going to Mexico, as you mentioned, or even in Germany. What was their perspective, the audience? What you expect in here, and what was your experience with different countries?
I think it's going to be interesting to get the perspective from the Albanian public, especially because the village that's shown or that's portrayed in the movie is in Eastern Germany in the old DDR. So it's like an ex-communist regime, and Albania shares this history. So this might be interesting to see how there's some similarities of the countryside, and probably that's like a phenomenon that happens all around the world, that villages get deserted and the young people move away to the cities. So I guess those kind of motives or leitmotifs will be able to like be universal. And then I'm always curious about like little things where like the language is just weird, or Germans are somehow sometimes behaving weird, and like the communication is not always as like, I don't know, straightforward as you might think, and it's just like in a little subtle things. So those are always interesting. And then you have I feel like you have a lot of physical humor, which is it's not in the language, it's not in social codes, but it's just like things happening, not in a slapstick kind of way, but kind of. So those things, like from my experience, like traveling the world a little bit with this film, they work. It's universal. If somebody stumbles, people laugh.
Yeah, same for me. I'm really curious to find out what are like universal parts, where is like where can Germany and Albania maybe connect in some parts of the storytelling, some parts about the village, where are the similarities and where are also differences. I think there are also some jokes that are specifically like work in a German historical context, and I'm really curious to see how or what jokes will transfer also to the Tiranian public.
Thank you for sharing all your opinions, thoughts, views about the movie. We hope that the audience will enjoy it. Thank you for being in Tirana. I hope you have good luck showing the movie here and also in other countries.
Thank
Good
you.
luck also with the competition, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.